All right, and here's our group coming to the destination. Coming to our destination that we've been working for the last 2.5 hours to get to. This is known as Raintree. This is a bristlecone pine tree, the oldest one that I know of in this area. About 3,000 years old. It's also at the junction of a couple of trails. We're on the North Loop Trail. If we go to the right at that sign down there, it takes you down to Mummy Springs, about another mile. Sometimes there's water there. I don't know, it seems pretty dry, pretty late in the summer now. May not be any water down there at the Mummy Spring. If you continue on the North Loop Trail down and to the left, you can eventually get to Charleston Peak that way. It's only about 8 more miles from this point. Needless to say, we're not going to do that today. Kind of scanning the horizon here. That peak in between those trees way out there, across the valley, actually across Kyle Canyon. That is Griffith Peak. Mark and I have hiked to the top of that before. Let's see, let's take a closer look at Raintree here. I kind of flip it just so you can see the total height here. I mean, if you've seen this from a distance, it wouldn't look necessarily remarkable as a 3,000-year-old tree, but you can see tree hugger Penny down there. You can see the girth of that tree is enormous. And we are going to go all the way around it. Hello. Cynthia, you want to say hello to the camera? To all your viewers at home? Mark, Deanna.
Hi.
Isabella.
Raintree.
Oh yeah, there you go. Take your hat off. Looking good. More bristlecones. This area is just full of bristlecones. It's a whole grove up here. These trees only grow at a really narrow sort of bandwidth and elevation, between about 9,000 feet and 11,000 feet, and we are about 9,900 right here. This is pretty common to see 2 different trunks coming off of the same plant. That's the same plant. If you can wrap your head around it, that smaller of the 2 is probably at least 1,000 years, if not 1,500 years old. One of the reasons these trees live so long, parts of the tree will die and it cuts off energy to those parts and it just continues to the living area. As you can see in some areas, if I can get a good lighting, like here's a good example. You can see there's just a strip of living bark that wraps around the rest of what is otherwise sort of a dead trunk or a huge branch. And that goes up and then it supports leaves at the top that come off of that living strip of bark. So it's pretty fascinating.
How do you go around the tree without falling?
So again, down that way is Mummy Springs. It's sort of downhill from here. Nice easy 1 mile hike. Of course you got to come back up a mile. And then just look at this root system. Crazy, massive roots can grow in this dry, rocky soil. Really remarkable. All right, well, say goodbye for now. Hope you enjoyed.